Hello guys and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the Amazon DynamoDB on the AWS console. Before we go into that, I'll take a few seconds to explain what it really means. The DynamoDB service is a fully managed NoSQL database service that is offered by Amazon Web Services AWS. In this definition, one phrase stands out: the NoSQL database. And that refers to non-relational database. But what does this really mean? Let me explain. Fundamentally speaking, databases are classified into relational and non-relational. In a relational database, data is stored in rows and columns, basically in a tabular form. And you can interact with this tabular form content here in the form of programming language called SQL. In other words, SQL is used to retrieve and store data in a relational database. On the other hand, in a non-relational database, data is not stored in tables in form of rows and columns. No. Data is stored in various other forms. I mean, in graphs, in charts, and in maybe even JSON formats. And also, one feature of this database is that you're not able to use SQL to store and retrieve data from it. Rather, you would use other programming languages. So that is a basic difference between relational and non-relational or NoSQL database. And now we know what these mean. The DynamoDB is a typical example of the NoSQL database. The AWS DynamoDB is highly scalable and it's also able to support multiple regions with large amounts of data stored. So these are some of the features of the AWS DynamoDB. Now we understand this. Let's go into our console and set up one. Now we are in our console. Let's explore the Amazon DynamoDB. So we'll go to our services for anyone who's opened this for the first time. In the console, you just search for Amazon, search for DynamoDB. And there you go. That's the option right here. You can choose it. And it brings us to this page here. On this page, you can see here is a fast and flexible NoSQL database service for any scale. Right. So once again, we're going to click on the create a table right here. And it brings us to this page here. It says here we can create a table. And these are our table details here. For this table here, let's give it a name here. And the name has to go according to this convention right here. Has to be according to this rule right here. So just observe that and give Bruno test table. Okay. Test table. And let's go down here to see the partition key, guys. This is going to be what will be used to identify the table. Okay. You can see right here, the partition key is a part of the table's primary key. Let's give it here. Let's say, let's call it a clients group here, which is the previous time I gave my table here. Clients group A1. Let's go right down here and leave everything as is. Let's go down, 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 and click on create table. Once we do that, we have a table created right here. Now this looks good. You can see right here, it says created, and very soon it's going to be ready and active to go. So let's give it a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, AWS Dynamo. Okay, it's loading right now. And if we refresh this, okay, it's already active. So let's go into the table. Let's go to our table. We can see right here, before we go any further, it is our table name right here, which we just entered, Bruno test table. This is status is active. This is the partition key we made here, clients group A1. And it's got a sort key here, which we didn't enter because we left things as default here with no values in them. And this is also very important here. It says deletion protection. If you don't want your table deleted by accident, you have to enable deletion protection. And once that's done, then you can have a very safe sort of use of your table. Okay, so let's go right there. You can see that it has other features right here, which we will not deal with in this video. So what we can do right now is to see here at the top here, it says create table. We can create more tables if we want to, but we made one table here and that's okay for this video. So let's just go into our table here and have a look. Click right there. And now we can see our table. Right, so here we see that table has got the partition key right here. It's down here. So what we can do is that we can add attributes to our table. And once again, I mentioned prevent accidental deletions right here. And here, this is where you can activate that right here. Edit the PITI right here. You can do that here to avoid accidental writes or deletes. Okay, so let's just go down here. And we see right here that we're able to add an attribute to our table. Okay, so what we can do right here is to go here and explore table items right here. Let's go right there. And it leads us into this page right here. This is where we can add our attributes. Okay, let's just go right here and create an item on our table. This is the Bruno test table. We're still working with this one. Our only table for today. And let's just go here and create an item. And here it says here, this is a partition key right here, the client group A1. And now we have this, we can simply create a value here and determine the type of the value. Let's call this value 1. And let's add more values, more attributes rather, to our table. What we can do is to create and not create an item, we can add an attribute right here. Add an attribute in the form of string or a string type and say, let this be, let's say first name. Let's make it all small letters. First name. And let's see, our first name here is going to be like a Joe. Now, we actually writing these because we believe that we have an entry with got a first name, right? But it will depend on the features of the entry that you're putting into the table, right? Or you're feeding into the form. So let's go here and create another attribute here, which we'll call, probably call last name, and say here, let's say Joe James. That's strange, but yeah, Joe James. And let's, this is Joe for first name and James for last name. So James for last name. And then let's go here and put another attribute like his age. He must have an age. Let's say he is just 31, maybe 31 years old. And let's call this a string as well. And then once we're happy with these entries, guys, and these attributes, we can simply create our table right here. Okay, let's go right here and add another attribute here to say, let's say we're gonna add a string and call it here department, and call it here mechanics. Okay, and let's create our item right here. So before we do create an item here, I want to show you something quick. Now, in this form which we are creating right now, you're able to view it as a form format or as a JSON format. Here's our JSON format right here. And if you're comfortable with JSON files, you can write it here in JSON format here. But this is more comfortable for me, which is why I've chosen this, because I'm more used to writing this way than in JSON format. So JSON view here, and this is the form view here. So choose the one that is more convenient for you. So let's go right here and create our item here, and it creates. There we go, and that's our item completed. There you go. At the bottom, you can see our partition key right here, the age, department, and the features are all the attributes of our table right here. You can see them right here. So this is one table created. You can go ahead and create another item. Let's go here and create another item. And say here, this is going to be our partition key right here. And let's call this a value this time. Let's call it 2. Okay, we're still working with one partition key, guys. So just to let you know that. And let's call this 2 and add another attribute. We'll call this a string as well. String type. We're going to call these, let's say, we'll call these, same. Let's do first name. Let's say Mary. Okay. Mary, and let's say The next attribute is going to be string again. We'll call it last name and call it Peter. So Mary Peter, and let's go and add. Let's say we only add because this time around the individuals has got just these details. We don't know their age. We only know the name, first name, last name, and we know the department. Let's say we know the department. Let's see, we call it forestry. And once we do this, we can actually create our item right here. Once again, you can view it in your JSON format or in the form format. So once that's okay, you're happy with all this, you can click on the create item right here, and it creates right away. And you can look down, and see that these are clients group numbers here. And you can see right here, these are the features of our forms. There you go. This one here had no age, so I mean, we didn't know the age, so we're going to enter the age right here. So it would only depend on what is here. So let's say in the future, like start we fill out the form, we found out that we actually missed out the age. What we can do is we can go back and edit this form very easily. Okay, let's go right here and edit this form. Here we can edit the form, and we can add, let me say, an attribute like, let's say, age. Also missed out the age, and add age and make it 27. Okay, and now we can save changes, and that updates. If you go down, you can see right here that now the age has updated. So note something as well. If you happen to go here, let's say we went down here to edit the table, and we found out, and we simply entered, instead of age, we entered, let me say, age, because this has a different case, right? It's going to read differently. And if we did this and we saved it back, what you find is the entry that's created is different. Okay, there's age, but there's no age for this individual right here, because when we made the table entry, we made sure that his age was written differently. So it's recognized as a different entry altogether because of how we did write it up. So that's the reason why you should make sure that these titles here correspond when you're making your table entries. So that's very important. And also, let's say we decide to, let's go back to the table here. Let's go back here. Let's correct it. Let's go back to edits, and let's correct it here. And let's put age the right way you want to write it here. Age. And let's save changes again. And there we go. Once you go down here, now the age is represented in the right field. So right here, you can see right here, you can edit each feature, each attribute of the form by simply clicking right here. So let's say the issue you have is just the age or the department. You can simply go right here, click on this pen button right here, click on this, and you can say here, you can correct this and write fission, for example. Okay, fission. Okay, and that edits the table entry, the form entry. So that's how you do it, guys. So this is pretty much how you use the Amazon DynamoDB. There's also one thing you must note when you're creating forms here in Amazon DynamoDB. When you go into a table, for instance, like this, and you make a change, make sure that you save changes, else, if you did cancel, that change will not be affected. So that's important to know. So let's now go back one step. If for any reason you would like to delete any of the tables here, simply highlight the table, click here and the check mark here, and then you go to actions, drop down, and you can simply duplicate, delete item here. Go to delete right here and delete the item right away. If you choose to maybe export the items into a CSV file, you can download right here, and it downloads into a CSV file. So that's how you can use tables. Also, if you choose to create another item, you can simply go here and create an item here on Amazon DynamoDB. So let us go one step backwards, go to our tables here. We only have one table, the Bruno test table. So looking at this, you can see that it doesn't have all the columns here. So what we can do is, let's say you had only like 2 or 3 columns. I wanted to see the exact columns without having to see all the spaces right here. You can go right here to the end here, where it says here settings, on this little circle right here, click right there, and it takes you to this. And you can actually choose the exact columns that you want to see. And then once you do that, you can confirm right here, and you see the exact columns you want to see. Let's say here we don't have a sort key, for example. Let's do that. Take it off and click on confirm, and there we go. The sort key disappears automatically. Let's say the index is also 0, so we don't need it. Let's just go right here to say we don't want to see the index or the indexes, and then we confirm, and that also disappears from here. So that's how you can modify and filter the view on this table right here. Say, let's say you had multiple tables here. You want to find a set for a particular table. Simply go here and set by the table name. Let's say we want to check for Kenneth table. Okay, the Kenneth table. You can see right here, because I don't have Kenneth table. There's only one table displayed, and there's nothing here because the result is nothing for the Kenneth table. So that is how you know that you don't have that table right here. So search with the particular names if you know the names, and it will bring out the exact table you're looking for. That's one way to search for it. And next and finally, let's talk about the tables as well. Let's say you had many tables here and you wanted to see like some entries. Let's say you wanted your field, or let's say you wanted your page to be only populated with a number of tables. You can go right here and go to the items you want to see right here. So this will modify and filter by your setting until it gives you exactly what you're asking for. To view 25 items, to view 50 items, to view 100 items, it's going to show you exactly what you're choosing here. So let's say you wanted like the whole view of all the tables, up to 100 tables, and you click on this, it's going to display everything for you. But let's say you click on 50 here, it will show you only 50 tables if you have that many tables. So that's how you can filter your preferences here on Amazon Dynamodb. I hope this video was helpful. This is very basic for beginners, so please, if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and see you in my next video. Bye for now.